weather. Here is Chief Meteorologist Chase Jones.
I feel like that thunderstorm activity really started around Sunday yesterday, then stuck with us throughout the rest of the evening, then a little bit this morning, but it really cleared up fast. Now, these cold temperatures are on their way in, and as soon as December starts, I promise you, I'm on the lookout for a little bit of freezing rain, and hopefully it warms up. Yeah, freezing rain. Now, temperatures over the last 24 hours, another beautiful sunset, but I think 540 is where it stops at, all the way down into those upper 50s, fighting back and forth with those lower 60s with some of that rain shower activity. Then a good run at those lower 70s, but we are on the cool down by tomorrow. We're only going to be getting up into those 60s all the way until Thanksgiving, but I promise you by next week, somewhere in those 40s. 70 in San Angelo, everybody else in a combination of mid to lower 70s across the entire area. We're turning off the AC and flipping back on the space heater. 70 in Sterling City, 76 over there in Mason, so 6 degrees across the entire Concho Valley as we close in on Thanksgiving. And the last week of November, we really only have about 40 days left in 2025, so hopefully you're coming up with good things that you're thankful for. I'm thankful for each and every one of you that stops and says hi to me and watches every day. Dew points are in those 40s all the way down into those 30s, while humidity indices are in those 20s all the way up into those 30s. So we see how the drier weather is on its way in, but by Thursday we should see a pretty good dent in the drought monitor. That's what I'm trying to say. Of course, I'm keeping my eye on the colder weather, some zonal flow. That's going to level us out in those 70s and 60s. But off the west coast, here comes more cold air plunging down from the north, and that's going to push us around those freezing levels with a whole lot of moisture. Again, I'm on the lookout for some freezing rain, or at least wintry mix. Atmospheric moisture is also showing us the cold air making its way in, pushing down from the north. Look how it pushes everything off the east coast and around the Concho Valley, seeing the resurgence of some of that instability. Of course, the temperatures are showing us where the purples are starting to make their way down, so we're seeing freezing air working its way across the entire United States as we get closer towards Thanksgiving. Then right behind it, a little bit of a warm-up, but I am on the lookout for those freezing temperatures. Severe weather outlook is parts of East Texas into Louisiana, and every single storm chaser has made their way from the Panhandle down into the Concho Valley and headed off towards the east, where we are seeing a massive tornado watch box. Of course, here comes the futurecast. Take a good look at this beautiful high pressure that's going to be sticking with us all the way until Thanksgiving. But of course, overnight you see how quickly sunset rolls around. We're on the lookout for some of those freezing temperatures, so keep the extra layer close because it will cool down pretty quickly. So go ahead and pull the plants in, because I promise you by Thanksgiving that cold weather is going to be here. Off the west coast, watching for the next recharge or the next wave of moisture to make its way in with some of that wintry precipitation. Tonight, all the way back down into those lower 40s, but go ahead and keep the extra layer close, and we're practicing space heater safety. Then tomorrow, it's going to be the last Taco Tuesday until Thanksgiving, but I promise you only up into those lower 70s. We're getting a better idea of this fall weather. Now take a good look at these temperatures as we get closer towards December. We're on the gradual cool down. We're going to be in those lower 60s by Wednesday and Thursday by Thanksgiving. Then by the weekend, here comes more rain. It's going to cool us off and sort of keep us in those 60s. But as we get closer towards the beginning of December, all the way down into those lower 40s, while those overnight lows push down near those freezing levels. Stay tuned. I'm watching the break. You're watching KSAN News.